The best free tools for Amazon sellers. Let's talk about some of the tools that you can use that will improve your business and you don't have to pay anything for it. I've been selling on Amazon for over a decade, and some of the best tools that I've used to generate sales, to find opportunities, they're actually free. I didn't pay anything for it. And things have changed. In fact, one of my favorite free tools, actually, you had to start paying for it to get all the features. And then some new released tools. I work on free tools, and some of them have been great. Some of them are like, it's all right. Well, so the tool that probably changed my business career the most when it was free the first time I saw it, probably about 2016, was Keepa. At that time, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was, but little did I know that it was just going to get better and better and more ingrained in the way that we thought about growing our business, about finding great opportunities. And you start to see these trends inside the tool to know hey, how consistently is something selling? Hey, has there been anything historically that has changed its sales rank where maybe they did really well over the holidays. In fact, what happens over the holidays? You could look at the previous year and it kind of tells a story. So then about 2 or 3 later, they made you start to pay for the sales rank part, but you still have the price. And in fact, I have friends that they're like, I want a price tracker. I want to go deal hunting. Keepa works for that. In fact, I think most of their users do that, as they have 3 or 4 million downloads. And trust me, there are not 3 or 4 million sellers that are using Keepa. There's maybe 100,000, 200,000. Well, let's jump in. I compiled a list of 10 free tools that I think are super valuable and worth checking out because it costs you nothing. And you probably could run a successful business with these alone. Now, there are paid tools that are better than these, but do you need them? Well, I'll let you decide on that. And I love to be able to test a tool out and figure out if I'm going to use it in the future. And so let's jump in. We've already spent too long. Just have top 10. And the reason that I had this idea is I came across, there's a guy out there, I've had him on the podcast before, DDZIM, and he does these YouTube videos. I'm gonna flash his YouTube channel if you're watching, so you just see what he is about. He audits categories of software. And okay, now I've got it pulled up, and he's got one over PPC. He's got SEO. He's got reimbursements. And then he has a list of all the free tools out there. And man, it's insane how much effort some of these things take, and how very few people watch his videos. But I pay attention because he does a very in-depth thing. It's a great spot to even start. I paid for this list just because I always wanted access to it. That's right. I pay for a list of tools, and I've come back to it, and he keeps it updated, so it was worth it. It was a one-time payment. I think $200-300. So if you want to get as nerdy as me on this, then so DDZIM, David Zimmerman is his name. And so let's jump in to these tools. There's a brand new one called Vico. It's kind of crazy so Vico is an Amazon-owned software company. How they get funded, I don't know, but it's kind of like Amazon's created a third-party app and just funding it because everything that they do is free. It started out as kind of like a shipping platform, so think ShipStation to integrate with the multi-channel, sales. But just this year, they announced that they have a profitability analyzer, and on David Zimmerman's list, they're about middle of the pack So amazing for free. But if you want, lots of advanced bells and whistles, yeah, I probably have to pay something. And I have used a variety over my life. I currently use Sellerboard. That one's just really effective for the price that you pay. But I might turn to Vico. Either way, this is the one that actually got me to create this episode, just because it's new and they've added some more stuff. Now, jumping into the second one, I'm trying to cover like different categories. So Vico is shipping and profitability. There are other free. For most of these categories, there's multiple free tools. I think for PPC, there's a lot of auditing tools. The Ad Advance one looks very strong. I've seen it in live, seen it live before, and this just gives you an analysis of how are you performing, with a little bit of a benchmark, how profitable are your ads. And it's an audit to find gaps or inefficient spend. I actually find audits very powerful on the PPC side, just to help you learn PPC. It's kind of hard to come into something very nerdy without any background. And if you start seeing a few different audits, you're like, oh, here's what I can do to improve my business. So you can just Google Ad Advanced Audit Report and get there. The next two are actually inside of Seller Central. I know Search Query Performance requires you to have a brand registry, but what it does, it just gives you a kind of a bottom of the funnel, like when people are searching and they're buying, they're adding to cart and checking out, how often they're selecting your product versus the field, how often they're seeing you on a keyword basis. Then they also kind of sort all your keywords in terms of importance to your business. I think it's pretty cool, and you see a lot of people really like it. And the most annoying thing about Search Query Performance is they don't let developers really build on top of it. Maybe one day I'll just start grabbing it from the Chrome extension. But super annoying because it's awesome data. In fact, one of the best pieces of free data that Amazon gives you. The next one is the Product Opportunity Explorer. This is certainly competitive with the Jungle Scout, Helium 10s, and even Smart Scout to a degree. And again, it's free, so how can you beat that? This is about exploring niches. One of the things I really like about it, it's first-party data. There's some cool stuff there, but it doesn't take you too long to find some shortcomings. I found that some niches they create are branded niches, and they're a little bit weird. Or say you take a category cooking oil, then they'll have one brand inside of cooking oil, and it'll be oh, this is a niche. And they give you an idea of how things are trending, but they don't give you full detail. One thing about it is they won't name competitor names. They'll show you a product here or two, but you don't get the full picture. I think it's a lot of fun though. I learned when I was using it, half the time I'm like, oh crap, this is competing against me. Then half the time I'm like, oh, this is almost good. Still though, for free, it's great. Now, on to number 5. Sales estimator. So Jungle Scout, they've started out having this sales estimator. You can see their estimations. I've used it sometimes even just to benchmark our own data, and I've been pretty happy with it. For free, it's great. This is a tool that even on Smart Scout's free tier, you can get it. But to get to our free tier, you kind of have to jump a few hoops. You have to go to our brand reports page. I don't know why I'm saying this. Moving on. Their sales estimator does just a fine job. We kind of copied it inside of our tool just because you just kind of need to have it. Then the next, FBA Calculator. There's a few FBA calculators. If you just Google it, the top ones you're going to see are Profit Guru. You're going to see Jungle Scout again. You're going to see Amazon's FBA one. And Amazon just improved theirs to kind of bring in some of these new fees. And so Amazon's FBA calculator has always been very competitive. Now here's a free tool that is absolutely valuable. If you've ever used a tool called Exploding Topics, we kind of took Exploding Topics, which like shows like Google Trends, and then we threw it into the Amazon world. So we created Smart Scout's Amazon search trends. It's a free tool. You can Google that, and one part of it's a little bit like Twitter, where we show you what's trending, and then one part you just like, you could type in Christmas, and all of a sudden you'll see like the keywords that are just shooting up. And by the time that this is going live, you'll be thinking about Valentine's Day and seeing a few of those Valentine's Day keywords moving around. Now, if you want to just think like worldwide trends, Google Trends is really still great. I've been using it more because it kind of takes the guesswork out. I've used Google Trends to show that the search trend, Alibaba to Amazon, is down 50% in the last 2 years. So I'm like, well, what's going on? Oh, small private label is shrinking. When I say small private label, like new private label sellers, doesn't mean that, Amazon's growing. This has kind of been like my repeated thing for the last few months. Amazon is growing, but fewer new sellers are jumping in. So you do the math on all the conclusions that can mean. I found that from Google Trends, and I when people have opinions, it's great to just have like a Google Trend that kind of like says yes or no. That like that opinion is kind of like what the masses think. I think we often we're humans. We're subject to anecdotal data. If like one thing happens to a friend of ours, all of a sudden we think that happens to everyone. My brother was mugged in New York City, so New York City must be dangerous. It's not entirely true. Just because something happens once, and so I find Google Trends kind of like gets through some of that noise, and you could create your own numbers faster. All right. We got two. The best free tool I've ever created was the Smart Scout Amazon Seller Map. Now, this was it went viral when we released it 3 years ago, and still to this date, like what people know us for, something like really new that we created. It's fun, and it gives you an idea of like what we actually do, in terms of like seller and brand research, and it's fun and it's powerful. We are creating a new map. I didn't intend to talk about this, but since we're like known for a map, we're creating a new type of map where we're going to show the Amazon, so whoever's winning the buy box, and how long it takes to ship a product in every state. So you type in a product. It's not uncommon for one seller to be winning the buy box in a different region. It actually, I'd say in the searches that I've done about 20. I'd say about 30% of the time, maybe even 40% if you include Hawaii and Alaska, someone else is winning the buy box in a different geography. So there you have it. And the final free tool is Keepa. And I know I mentioned Smart Scout a few times, but these are all free things, so I don't even care. But like Keepa, it has a lot of cool things that you can do for free. You can see prices over time. You can see different conditions over time. And once you get the sales rank, you can get an idea of estimate sales. And you can pair this up with a Smart Scout Chrome extension, which is currently also free. And it kind of adds some more profitability, kind of has a little bit of an FBA calculator added to it. So there you have it. These are some of the top free tools for Amazon sellers. And I think that I think you should check a few of them out. Hope you like this. If you want me to dive in further on them, I think I should. That'd be pretty cool. I studied for this podcast for a little while, but I'm not going to give 2 days of work just to test out free tools. Just kidding. I actually would. That would be fun, because there's more on even these tools. And if you go to David Zimmerman's list, He's got about 100 free tools. Not all of them are like Amazon, but like they're there. And yeah, and actually there's even more tools. There's a few there that he didn't have. So just a conversation about free tools and how great they are. So thanks everyone for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
1, 2, 3.